Would you like to upgrade to Bitcoin Knots version 29? In a prior article and video, I talked about how to build your own Bitcoin solo pool using CK Pool Solo and Bitcoin Knots. In this article, I'll guide you through the steps to upgrade from Bitcoin Knots version 28 to version 29. You can follow along by watching this video, and if you're watching this video, there'll be a link to this Substack article in the description below. I've already upgraded my testnet instance and mined a block. I've verified everything works correctly with Bitcoin Knots version 29. I'm going to upgrade my mainnet instance now. If you have both, you'll need to repeat this procedure for testnet. First, we need to stop Bitcoin Knots from running. So I've already SSH'd into my node, and I'm just sitting as my root user. So I'm going to ask it to stop Bitcoin Knots mainnet. And it's having a little think while I'm doing that. The next thing I want to do is become the Knots mainnet user. Next thing, we're going to change into the Bitcoin directory, which is where it's stored. And then we're going to use Git and ask Git to download the latest code. So that's going to pull all of the updates now. Now we're going to ask Git to switch us over to Knots version 29. So we'll paste that in. And just to make sure that no one's messed with the code, we're going to ask it to verify the digital signatures. And we're looking for it to say something that the signature is good and it's by Luke Dasher. So we can see that there. So this code is authentic and hasn't been changed by anyone. Now we need to build the new version. So this might take a while. So I'll probably just do some fast forward video. So we'll copy and paste this cmake command. And that creates our build environment, and it's going through and checking what options this platform has. It looks at things like what your architecture is and what C compiler options you have, what libraries you've got installed. And then eventually, when that's finished, we'll better do the make command, which actually compiles the code. All right, it's finished. Alrighty. Now this option here says to use 4 CPU cores. So on my node, for instance, I've got 8 CPU cores, 4 performance, 4 efficiency. So I'm just going to use 4 for the performance cores. So we'll copy and paste that in. Okay, I'm going to leave this running and I'll do it on fast forward. Okay, that's finally finished. Now we're going to link our newly compiled executables and put the links in our users bin directory. So we'll just copy and paste these in one at a time. Okay, now we need to actually test the newly compiled Knots node. So we'll just start it up and we'll just leave it running for 30 seconds or so. And you're just really wanting to make sure it doesn't crash out or error out or have any issues like that. If it has problems, stop and resolve those first. But if you already had this running, it really should just be quite happy. Yep, that's pretty much all good. So once you're happy, just hit Control-C. Version 29 of Bitcoin Knots needs to be started up a little bit differently than the prior version. So we need to update our existing service definitions. We're going to go back to our root account and edit that service. So we'll do the exit command, and then we're going to edit the mainnet service. So if you're doing testnet, you just change that to testnet. Okay, so I've put one line in bold. This is the only one that needs to change. So I'll come over to here. So the exec start line used to have Bitcoin source in here. This now needs to say bin. So I'll just delete those lines. And I'll put in bin. Right, I should be able to just save that off, and it's done. Now, if you're doing testnet, then there's 3 lines you'll need to change, which is these lines here. Okay, because we've changed the service file, we need to tell systemd to reload its configurations. Oops, it didn't quite quit out. There we go. And actually, we don't really need enable. That just marks it available for boot. When the system boots, it should start it running. And now I'm going to tell it to start knots running. Okay, now we need to check that it has started running. So we're going to use the status command and make sure it says it's running. So we want to see it saying active there. And not too many errors, I guess. If you are having problems, this will spit out the recent log for this service, so we can run that. So at the moment, I'm not having errors, so there's no errors to speak of. You can also run this tail command to display the bottom of the debug log. Any errors are probably going to be displayed more fully there. So no errors happening here. This is all looking good. Processing mempool transactions. You might get different things depending on when you run that command. Because CK Pull uses the node software, we should probably restart CK Pull. I'm not sure whether this is really necessary, but we'll just tell it to restart. And we'll just do a quick status command on that to make sure it's managed to connect to the node okay. And yes, that's looking good. And lastly, we're going to become the Knots mainnet user again, and then we'll run some Bitcoin CLI commands and just make sure it spits out lots of Bitcoin-like data. So we'll become the mainnet user there. And we'll ask for network info, net info. So we basically want to see that it's got inbound and outbound connections. It might, if it's only been running a very short time, these might not really have much there, but within a couple of minutes, it should probably have data there. Run network info. There should be lots of data spat out there. We can ask about the blockchain info. So mostly as long as it's spitting out lots of data, it should be happy. And then peer info tells us about everyone connected to us or who we're connecting to. So there should be lots of data here as well. Okay, so you should now have a Bitcoin Knots version 29 node up and running. You're ready to go. So hopefully you found that video about how to upgrade to Bitcoin Knots 29 helpful. I'm going to leave another video after this and maybe you'll find that of interest too.